Kitty woke to find Harry stretched out beside her, watching her sleep. She smiled, reached for him, and her fingers passed through air. Her eyes fluttered open to the bright light of her bedroom. There was no Harry, but she did have a dull pounding in her head. She squeezed her eyes shut. What had possessed her to drink 2 teacups full of liquor? After the first one, the second seemed like a good idea, but that was no excuse. Then she'd stumbled from the room, upstairs, and demanded a kiss from Harry. This was bad, even for her. She wouldn't be able to face him. Or would she? He'd seemed like he wanted to kiss her. He'd walked away, though. A knock brought Kitty's eyes open. "Kitty," Annabel called. "Come in." Kitty burrowed deeper into the sheets. Annabel entered, her face solemn. She closed the door before crossing to lower herself carefully onto the edge of the bed. "Kitty, what were you thinking?" Kitty winced, more for the disappointment in Annabel's voice than the dull ache in her head. "About?" She'd learned long ago never to offer information. Oftentimes, people didn't know all of the things she'd done. "Our parents noticed you were drunk last night." Drunk! In front of both our families. "Isn't that better than being drunk in front of guests?" Annabel wasn't amused. "And then Harry came to me this morning, demanding to know who tried to kiss you in the garden 3 years ago. What possessed you to tell him that? You know how stodgy Harry is." "He isn't. He's noble. And perfect." "I don't remember." Had she brought up that long-ago almost kiss? The throbbing in Kitty's head worsened under Annabel's stare. "I'm sorry for drinking." Annabel let out a long sigh. "I know it wasn't completely your fault. I'm sure my brothers had a hand in it. Father's already reprimanded them. Harry has too, from the look on his face when I saw him speaking to them earlier." She heaved herself off the bed and waddled to the door. "I'd stay and berate you more, but the contest is about to begin, and I must find Harry. I can't imagine where he is. He'd hardly miss a chance to show up Nathan and Winston." Annabel slipped from the room. Kitty closed her eyes. She should go back to sleep. No one would be happy to see her. Her mother would give her the look, the one that bemoaned her only child's unruliness. Her father... Wait! Had Annabel said Harry was missing? Kitty sat up and called for her maid. "Drat Nathan and Winston, cads, both of them. They hadn't been apologizing, they'd been scheming. Why did they need Kitty to go off into the woods if they could convince Harry she had? All they needed was to keep her out of sight all morning." In short order, Kitty dressed, adjusted the bodice knife as she left her room, and stomped through the blessedly empty manor. She went first to the west side and peered out a second-floor window at the makeshift shooting range. She didn't see Harry, but it appeared all the Duke's footmen had been drawn to the spectacle. Winston saw her. He elbowed Nathan and pointed. Both gave her smug grins. Kitty hurried downstairs. The Duke kept scent hounds, but she didn't want to stir up questions by requesting one, nor did she know how to guide them. She did know one dog she could use to find Harry, though: Caesar. The mastiff, locked inside for the shooting, pranced, eager for a chance to go out. Kitty took him east. That was the direction Nathan had gestured the day before, and where the trails into the deep forest lay. Once they neared the trees, Kitty knelt before Caesar and took his great big slobbery face between her hands. "Find Harry, Caesar! Harry!" She hoped he could find him before the contest began, or at least steal enough time alone to apologize. Maybe do more than apologize, if... Caesar turned, nose to the ground, and set off. Kitty followed, her mind more on the result than the hunt. Harry had walked away from her last night, but she wouldn't let him again, not until she had an answer. She'd never thought of Harry as anything more than Annabel's reserved older brother. Last night, the heat in his gaze had turned him into something more.